Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about arthritis and how you can effectively manage your arthritis. Okay. So I just want to let you know that I wouldn't call you to inform you about these Zoom sessions. Okay. So if anyone calls you telling you that, I'm hosting a Zoom session and they would send you a code, please don't listen to that person. Okay. That person is simply trying to hack into your WhatsApp account. Okay. I don't need to call you to inform you about these sessions when I can simply put it on the group and send it via email. Okay. All right. So just a security note before I begin. Okay. All right. So what we are going to talk about today, 6 things. So we're going to differentiate between osteoarthritis and rheumatoid and gout arthritis. And then we're going to discuss the cause and what you can do to get out of it. And then we're going to talk about some natural methods for pain relief so that you don't have to depend on your pain relief medications. And then we're going to talk about exercise and fasting. Okay. So I'm going to I'm not going to talk much today. I would give you very concise and straightforward information. Okay. My plan is for us to be done with this session in less than an hour. All right. So different types of arthritis. Let's start with rheumatoid. So for you to have rheumatoid arthritis, you have to have an autoimmune disorder, a situation where your immune system is attacking itself, which is not supposed to be so, a situation where your immune system thinks that certain parts of your body are a threat to it, okay, and it begins to fight it, okay? So that's what we call autoimmune disorders. So in order to have this, you should have something that we call a rheumatoid factor, and that's simply a protein, okay? And rheumatoid arthritis, I would say, is kind of like regular arthritis where you have stiff joints and swollen joints and, very painful joints and painful movements. Okay. But the thing with rheumatoid is it mostly occurs in joints where you don't have much weight. Okay. Like the joints in your fingers, joints in your toes. Okay. You don't have much weight on there, but you still have, these joint pains. Okay. So it doesn't just happen to any and everybody. This is an autoimmune disorder, okay? Someone says they can't hear me. Can you please confirm if you can hear me? I think you should, because I have my audio on. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, thank you. All right, so the next form of arthritis that we have is gout arthritis, and this form of arthritis happens when you have excess uric acid. So this is a dysfunction with your kidney, okay, for you to have excess uric acid roaming around your blood vessels, okay? So this would usually happen at on your big toe, okay? And it would come with pain and swelling, but it's not a constant pain and swelling. It would usually come and go, and sometimes it would last a few weeks when it comes and then it disappears again, okay? And the most famous of all, we have osteoarthritis, osteo simply meaning bone, okay? So osteoarthritis, many of us think about it as wear and tear, right? We think about it as, okay, I'm getting older and my joints are beginning to wear out, right? So I want us to look at the anatomy of the knee so that we can really see what is going on, in places like your knees, your shoulders, okay, or your neck. okay, or any other place where you have osteoarthritis, let's take a look at the anatomy of the knee so that we can really, really understand what's going on there, okay? So this is how your knee looks like, okay? If you cut your knee in half, this is how it looks like, okay? So here we have the joint cavity, okay? And this cavity simply meaning an opening, a space, okay? So this space, this cavity is filled with a fluid, okay? A lubricating fluid. Now, we also have this, what would I call this? Green, blue, bluish green area here where it terms articular cartilage. Okay, I hope that you can see it from the direction of my pointer. Okay, so that's the cartilage, and the function of this cartilage, okay, is to simply prevent these two bones from being in contact with each other. Okay, so it helps to protect the bone. All right, and this pinkish stuff here, that's the muscle. Okay, and then you have other parts of it that are not really important to you, okay? So when you have arthritis, first off, you lose this synovial fluid, okay? This lubricated fluid, you lose it, and you also lose this cartilage. So when these two things are gone, you would see that the bones would then get in contact with each other, right? Which can be very, very painful, okay, to you. All right. And that's why in this photo, you see the two joints, the two bones are hitting each other, which is not supposed to be, right? So when you are in such a position, you know, with the two bones coming in contact with each other, it can be extremely painful. Okay. And this is simply what is happening to you when you are dealing with osteoarthritis. Okay. So the cartilage wears out, and the synovial fluid wears out as well. Okay. All right. So I hope that this is clear. Now, like I said, the common misconception when you lose your synovial fluid and when you lose your knee cartilage is usually that, you know, you are getting older and that's just old age, right? Your body is wearing out. It's kind of like a car or any form of machinery, right? That you use continually often and often and often, and then it just stops working, right? But then that's not the same with your knee. Okay, the reason it's not the same with your knee is because your body is in this constant state of shedding and repairing. Okay, it's just like I told you of how you lose these cells. Okay, these cells that have worn out, your body excretes them. You don't need them anymore, and you have to make room for new cells to come in, right? So that's what your body does all the time. Okay, all the time. You are constantly shedding and repairing. Now, if you live your life in a way, that you don't have the tools that would enable your body to repair anymore, you would have arthritis. Okay. So as your body is constantly, first of all, if you live your life in a way or in a manner in which you would shed or you would break down more than usual, and you don't have the necessary tools to meet up or to equate that shedding or that breakdown, you are going to have things like arthritis. Okay. So it's not just about, you know, you getting older. And I do acknowledge that old age, you know, has one or two things to do with the development of arthritis. Okay. It makes sense that, you know, we are just getting older and such is life, right? However, when you have things like this or diseases or conditions that are meant for old age in your 40s and your 50s, even in your 60s, okay, then it's simply a mirror of what you have been doing all your life. Okay, so when you shed faster than supposed to and you don't have the tools that are necessary for repair, all right, then you have things like arthritis. So right now, let's talk about what is going to make you lack these tools that are needed for repair. Okay, why would you be lacking in tools that you need that your body needs to help you, you know, recover. Okay. So the first thing is, like many things, it starts with your nutrition. Okay. Because it is what you eat that your body breaks down into all these building blocks, okay, that are needed for repair and management, right? So when you don't eat well, when you have poor nutrition, you also have poor nutrients. And as your brain and very functional parts of your body, like your heart and your liver and your kidneys, as they need these things which you are unable to provide to them, they begin to, I wouldn't say malfunction, but they begin to degenerate. Okay. And when they begin to slow down, your brain, first of all, would send very poor signal to your muscle. Okay. Remember, the muscle is part of the joints. Let me go back. You see, the muscle is here. It does something to connect these two bones together, right? So when your brain doesn't give this muscle enough information, there would then be an imbalance, okay? And an imbalance when it comes to weight, because this is your knee, right? It is carrying the upper part of your body, right? And when your muscles don't get enough information, enough signal, that balance becomes uneven, okay? And then this bone would begin to slant and this one will begin to slant and the weight is not just balanced, okay? Now, when you have such, in addition to poor nutrition, or should I say inflammation that comes as a result of your poor nutrition, okay, you begin to stress out your knee, all right? And you stressing out your knee would lead to the wearing out of this cartilage and synovial fluid, and then your bones will begin to touch, and then you have this pain. Okay, so if we discuss what exactly is causing your arthritis, it starts from your nutrition. Okay, and that cycle of you not eating properly, so your body doesn't have enough of the minerals and vitamins that it needs to function. Okay. And that would then lead to, you know, stress and inflammation on your knee and uneven balance. And then you lose your cartilage and your synovial fluid. Okay. So I hope that this makes sense to you. Now, there are a certain group of people that do eat well, people that have been eating well for a major part of their life, and they still have arthritis. So what do we have to say about this category of people? Some people have what we call hemochromatosis. Okay, I hope that I got that name right. Hemochromatosis. Okay, and that simply means too much iron in the blood. Okay, now the thing is, your body doesn't know how to excrete iron. Okay, your body doesn't know how to excrete it. It doesn't excrete it just like protein. You know, when your body doesn't need protein anymore, it just releases it, you know, as part of your urine. But when it comes to iron, it doesn't know how to release excess iron. Okay, so it can store it quite all right. But when you have too much, you then have, your liver is not able to store, and then you have too much of it roaming around in your blood. Okay, so when you have too much iron, some symptoms that you can experience is fatigue, abdominal pain, increase in infections. You can have erectile dysfunction. It can lead to insulin resistance as well. Okay, and it's also very toxic to your liver, your pancreas, and your heart because they don't need that much iron. All right, so what happens is when you have an iron overload, okay, it can wear out your cartilage and your synovial fluid in your joints. Okay, so how can you then reduce this iron overload? Before we get to that, how do you even know that you have an iron overload? So what you need to do is to request a blood test at the hospital. Okay, now when you get your blood test, you will then come back to the recording of this session and you come back to this slide, okay, and you check, you look at your blood test and you look at it, you see if it is within the range that I have on this slide, Okay, so when you look at your iron, you have to know if it's between 60 to 170 micrograms per deciliter. Okay, or if your hospital has a different measurement, then 10.74 to 30.43 micromoles per liter. Okay, and then you also look at your total iron binding capacity, and then you also look at your transferrin saturation as well, between 20 to 50%. So if everything falls between this range, then you know that your iron levels are good, and you know that, okay, the problem can be from my diet, okay, and my age. All right. So please come back to look at this slide when you take your blood test. And what can you do to reduce your iron overload? Now you have to start making changes. Uh-oh, someone is writing on my screen. Okay. So you have to start making changes. And one of the things you can do is to simply increase your fiber intake. You can do that by eating your vegetables, okay? And you can also take something we call phytic acid supplements. I don't have that for you, but you can definitely get them, okay? That is when you take your test and you see that you have an iron overload, okay? That's when you should then apply, the things that I'm talking about right now. Okay, but if you don't have an iron overload, then don't worry about it. That's not the cause of your arthritis. Okay, you can also take green tea, and you can also donate your blood if you are willing to. Okay, all of that would help you with your iron levels, and as your iron levels go down, so does the pain of your arthritis. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. So if you don't struggle with an iron overload, what else can you do? Now you would have to start looking at your diet, okay? And like I said, I wanted this to be very concise. So I just put it into columns, what you should eat more of and what you should eat less of. Okay, so you want to eat more of fresh fruits and vegetables. And I know in Nigeria, we actually do eat fresh fruits and vegetables. We don't usually dry our fruits as much. Neither do we really consume fruit juices as much. Okay, if you want to eat fruits, then you really eat them fresh. So please continue in that habit of eating your fruits and vegetables fresh. And you can also eat more of walnuts. Walnuts would help, and your fish as well. Okay, the reason for walnuts and fish is simply because of omega-3 content. Okay, to help you with that cartilage. All right, and you also want to improve on your turmeric. That would help you, and your cabbage as well. Okay, I would give you a recipe to help you with your cabbage soon. All right, now you also want to eat more of pure saturated fats, not the ones that you find in your fast foods. Okay, but you want to take saturated fats, getting them from your eggs, your chicken, your meats as well. Okay, and you also want to improve on your unsaturated fats too, like I've mentioned. All right, and you want to eat less of sugar. You want to eat less of processed meats and seed oils. That's your vegetable oil, your groundnut oil, the oil that you use for frying. Okay, you want to use less of that. Minimize your fried foods, minimize your fast foods, minimize basically carbohydrates in general. Okay, the reason is that you already know that an increase of carbs would greatly increase your insulin resistance, right? So you want to help your body with the problem it's having with inflammation, okay? And insulin resistance is one of the things that, should I say, moves inflammation, okay? So if you can help your body with that inflammation by reducing how much carbohydrates you take in, I know it's quite difficult because that's a major that's our eating culture in Nigeria. Most of the foods that we have are purely carbohydrates, but please do your best, okay, to minimize how much carbohydrates you are taking in. All right. Now, other things to look out for in your diet, or when it comes to vitamins, you have EPA and DHA omega-3. That's there are so many versions of omega-3s, okay? But the ones that are going to help you for your arthritis are EPA and DHA. Okay, Now, you also want to focus on your vitamin B3. There are two forms of vitamin B3. You have niacin and you have niacinamide. All right, so please focus on niacinamide. That's what is key to you for arthritis. And then you have your vitamin D, your vitamin C, your calcium, and your selenium. Okay, now the wellness pack can provide you with most of the things on this list. Okay, and I was looking through our websites just to see if there are people who have used the wellness pack for this same purpose and, you know, got their results. So I want to show them to you. I hope that you can see my screen. So you have the wellness pack. So I was just looking through and I just told myself that I would just share some of the reviews that I found. And Queen says it helped her with her arthritis. If you can see my pointer, it helped her with arthritis and general body pain. And Pascaline as well says she got it for her mom. That her mom is the type that joint pain would not allow her to sleep, but with all the waist pains and joint pains, since she started, it has reduced. And then we have Odosiaku. She says, I use it for the aches around my shoulders and my backs, joint pains and back pains. Even pre or menopausal women should be taking this. So that's for wellness for women. And I also searched for wellness for men. Okay. And I also found a few people who have used it. So Remat, she bought it for her dad, who is always complaining of joint pains. He can sleep well now, no more body pains. And Adedeji as well, if I can find her. The wellness pack, I got it for my husband because of body pains. She started using it, the body pain and eye is getting better. And Adedeji, her husband has been having arthritis pain for a long time, but it drastically reduced, etc., etc. Okay, so I just went to the website to just look to see if people have actually used it for arthritis purposes. Okay, not because it's a drug for arthritis, but because of the major components that I've listed here that are contained in the pack. Okay, so please just to make that clear. Okay, it's not like it's some form of miracle product that is aimed for arthritis. Okay, it just works because of the content. All right, key contents that would usually help with arthritis, you have them here. All right, so another thing that can help you is, apart from your vitamins, is what we call fermented cabbage. Okay, now you have to ferment your cabbage, and I it's not something that I'm used to. You know, honestly, I've never fermented cabbages before. So when I found that this is something that can work for arthritis patients, I decided to look up to see if I can find a recipe on how you can actually ferment your cabbage, okay, and use that for arthritis purposes. Since this is homemade, I believe that you would be able to implement, right? So let's go to a website now to take a look. Okay. All right, so what you need are basically two things. You need cabbage and you need salt, okay? So don't worry for hypertensive patients that are running away from salt. The amount of salt that you need is about one teaspoon, okay? Depending on the size of your cabbage, which is it meets up to your limits, okay, of salt intake. All right, so let's go through it together. So you start with the head of a regular cabbage, okay? And you make sure that you weigh your cabbage before you start, okay? That will tell you the amount of salt that you are supposed to use, okay? So you peel off the outer leaves just like you do when you want to make your salad and coleslaw for your kids. You remove the outer parts that is dirty, okay? And then you give it a good rinse, all right? And then you remove one more outer leaf, just like this, and you just save it aside for later. And then you chop your cabbage, regular good old chopping, chop it down, shred it, you put it in a bowl, okay? And then you put your salt. So you have to calculate how much salt that you need. And if you're running away, then just use 1 teaspoon, sorry, not tablespoon, okay? 1 teaspoon, okay? The writer says that she has found that 1.5 teaspoons is enough, okay, for your size of cabbage. Okay, so you add your salt and then you let it sit for a while. So you allow the salt to sort of dehydrate the cabbage. Okay, that's what salt does. You know how you want to salt your fish, drain the fish so that it doesn't smell, afterwards, right? So you do the same for your cabbage, and then you let it rest for 15 minutes, right? Yes. And then you begin to massage it, okay? So this massaging part might be, it will call for some hand work, but please try, okay? You can see there is water after the whole process, right? So this is what you want to do for yourself as well, okay? You should see good amounts of liquid under the bowl, okay? And then you take a handful of your cabbage and you put it in a clean glass, okay, so that it can fit in. And then you pour the liquid from your cabbage into the glass, and then you cover it. All right. Okay, and then this is when the spare cabbage leaf that we had earlier, it comes in here. So you just use that to push the contents that is in the jar down, and then you close the jar. Okay, and then you allow that to sit. This is going to, you will have to allow this to sit for about 1 to 4 weeks so that it can ferment well. Okay, I know that we are just breezing through this website, so let me just send it right now to the group, to the chat, not the group. I will definitely send it along when I'm putting out the replay, okay? Just so that you can learn how to make your own at home. This is very easy, very simple. You don't need much, okay? Just cabbage and salt. All right, so you can eat this. This is going to help you with your arthritis. You can use it for many different things. You can use it as a dressing. You can use it as a salad as well, okay? So please try this and, give me some feedback, all right, on how you used it and how it helped you, okay? All right, so I hope that is clear. So let's go back to our slides. So we have fermented cabbage, and we also have the stinging nettle plants. Now, this is a weed, and I think I've seen this 1 or 2 times when I am passing down the road, and I think you may have seen it as well, okay? Have you ever seen something like this? It's a weed, and it's very common, actually. Please let me know, have you ever come across such plants before? I call it stinging nettle. It's like prickly. It has these tiny needles on the leaf. Have you ever come across such? Have you ever seen something like this before? Usually we throw it away because we believe that it doesn't have any benefits. It's a weed. Most people don't plant it. It just shows up in the garden. That's if you have a garden anyway. Okay. Have you ever seen something like this before? Please let me know. I would like to know. And if you haven't and you would like to get it, then you can find seeds on it. You can find seeds on Jumia, sorry. Okay. And then simply grow your own. All right. This is the point of this is to simply help to massage wherever is causing you pain. Okay. And this is the alternative that I have for you if you don't want to be taking pain relief medications anymore. Okay. So you simply use this to massage. And the point behind this is that, okay, Miss Elizabeth says she has seen it before. Ma, can you tell us where you've seen it? Because I usually see it in my garden. we have a small garden at home, and I usually throw it away because I see it as a weed, right? And sometimes when I'm walking down the road, I just see it sometimes, right? But the point about it is that you use it to massage. So you don't consume it, please. Okay, you don't consume it. You just use it to massage wherever it is that is causing you pain. And the point of it is when that's prickly, when the tips come in contact with, wherever it is that's causing you pain, it can help. Okay. I don't really know how exactly it helps you. Okay. But I do know that it has some, antioxidants and, what's the word? Minerals that are found in it that can help you, but it's not for consumption, please. Okay. It's just to help you massage that area. And as you are massaging, it just helps. It just helps. When I was researching how it can help, I didn't really find an answer. Okay. But what I know is that the leaf, what is on it, okay, those prickly, tiny stingling parts of the leaf, they can help massage that area and it will give you some relief. Okay. So you can definitely use this as an option. Okay. So Miss Elizabeth, since you said you've seen it, you can try it. Okay. All right. So can exercise help you with your joint pain? The simple answer to this is yes. And I know that it's pretty controversial to say this because it's like I'm having joint pain and you're telling me that I should exercise. But the key to it is to do low impact exercising. Okay. You simply want to move that joint as often as possible, as often as you can, to help with lubrication. Okay, to help with lubrication. So when it comes to exercise for arthritis, you have different exercises for different body parts. Okay, the same exercise you are going to use for your joints and for your knee and for your arms and for your neck and for your shoulder, etc. They are not the same. They are not the same, please. Okay, so I did not stress on this part about exercising because I cannot show you how to do the exercises for different parts of your body. But there are very, very good and amazing videos on YouTube. All you have to do is simply type in the keywords. Okay, so if you want to search out exercises for your knee, you are going to type in exercises for knee arthritis, and you will definitely see good videos, most of them done by doctors. Okay, exercises for my neck arthritis, exercises for my arm arthritis, okay, etc. Okay, so please just make sure that it's low impact, stretching, walking. Okay, and please make sure that you have something else, another method that would actually help you with, and not just exercising. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are actually doing, you are incorporating a healing aspect to it and not just movement. Okay, so that it doesn't just cause you more pain and then you get frustrated. Okay, so please make sure that you have something in addition to exercise that would help you with the arthritis. Regardless, not regardless, but choose any of the methods that I have already listed. Your cabbage, your supplements, your, what's this one I just spoke about? The stingling nettle plants as well. Okay, so just make sure that it's not just exercise that you are doing, but that you are doing exercise plus something else. Okay, and then fasting as well can really, really, really help you because the less you eat, the less inflammation you get. Okay, and remember that what is causing this inflammation in the first place is this insulin resistance. Now, even if we are not diabetic, so many people are insulin resistant. To be a diabetic patient, you have simply gone overboard. Okay, but it's easy to work on yourself when you are not yet diabetic. Okay, it's easy, it's easier and it's better for you to start when it's early. Okay, so fasting can really, really help, and we have different forms of fasting. I have some options for you that you can try depending on how good you are when it comes to fasting and how much you can endure. Okay, So the first thing you can do, or the easiest to do, is to skip your dinner. Okay, so you eat your breakfast, your lunch, and then you fast from dinner time to the next morning. Okay, or you skip your breakfast. Okay, you eat your lunch, you eat your dinner, and then you don't eat until, say, 12 p.m., 1 p.m. the next day. Okay, and then you also have a 30-hour fast. Now, a 30-hour fast means that you are skipping breakfast, lunch, you eat dinner. You may want to screenshot this slide, okay, if you want to go on a 30-hour fast, if you can endure it, okay? You eat breakfast, lunch, and then you fast from dinner that night up until lunch, okay, the next day, okay? So you are fasting for 30 hours. Now, the longer you fast, the more beneficial it is for your health, but please, please start slow, okay? Especially if you are dealing with things like ulcer and conditions that would not allow you to fast. Please start slow, okay? By going with either option 1 or option 2, okay? And please don't forget that you have the discount that I'm giving you still available up until the 31st of March. Okay, so your wellness pack is discounted and you get a free delivery. And oops, I'm missing a few flyers. But your wellness pack, your astaxanthin, your multivitamin, your meal replacement, all the supplements I have are discounted for you. Okay, until the 31st of this month. Okay, so that's that for today. Please ask me any questions you may have. Please ask me any questions, and if you have any comments as well, please let me know, okay? I would also like feedback on this session. Let me know if it was helpful, if I gave you practical things that you can do, okay? That you can actually implement. Please let me know, all right? I would be grateful to get some feedback from you. And if there are no questions or comments, we are done with today's session, okay? Thank you for joining me live. Okay, Mr. Saro, you are here. Okay, I'm glad that this was helpful to you. Thank you. I hope that you would implement 1 or 2 things so that it can help, okay? All right, questions, comments? Questions, comments, feedback, and if there are none, you can leave, okay? You're welcome, ma'am. No questions? You're welcome. Okay, for the leaf, how do you apply it? Is it by squeezing? Yes, you just take a little bit. okay? And you just rub it around the area that is causing you pain, okay? So take enough, okay? But I know definitely that it's a very common weed, okay? Maybe my pictures are not so clear, but you can, let me go back. You can type it out in Google and you have better pictures, okay? All right. Any question? Any other question? Okay. Deaconess, you can use it as a dressing for many things, okay? So let's say you want to prepare stew. Let's say you want to prepare tomato stew, okay? Or banga stew, all right? You can add it, okay? Or let's say you want to prepare your stock, okay? Your meat stock that you're going to use for stew, okay? You can add it, all right? Or you can use it for a dressing as your salad, okay? You can also eat it raw. You can also eat it raw, okay? You can actually eat that cabbage that is fermented, okay? So it's a very, you can use it for many things, your fermented cabbage, okay? And it's a very, very good detoxifier as well, okay? So you can eat it raw. You can also use the water for your stew, your stock, your dressing, all right? Eat it like this African, I've forgotten the name, this African salad. What's the name? What's the name of this? I've forgotten the name, but we have a salad, African salad, right? Abacha. Yes, yes, yes. Abacha. You can eat it like abacha. Yes. Yes. You can also eat it like ubatu. Okay. So that's what you do with it. Okay. Is it good to eat the white part of chicken joints? You mean like the biscuit bone? Yes, you can eat the biscuit bone. Okay. I'm so sorry that you cannot see me today. When I started this session, I realized that my camera wouldn't come on. My camera wouldn't come on today. Okay, the name of the leaf is stinging nettle. Can you still see my slides? This one, okay? Stinging nettle leaf. So you can type the name stinging nettle leaf on Google and you will see some better pictures and you can tell if you've seen them somewhere, okay? Or if you haven't, you can get the seeds on Jumia and then grow in your garden, okay? Or you can get a flower pot if you don't have a garden. Just get a flower pot and grow it. Your children would be very happy to do that if you have children. Yes, they'll be very happy to help you grow it. Because they like to get their hands on things. Okay, ma'am, no problem. All right, any other questions or comments, feedback? Please let me know, okay? And if there are none, you can leave. We have come to the end of the session, okay? So I would just wait, I think 8 o'clock is fine. So I would wait until 8 o'clock, okay? For any other questions or comments, and if there are none, I would end the session, okay? Please ask me any questions you may have. And if there are none, you can leave, okay? You're welcome. Take care. Okay, I will be here for just 3 more minutes. If you don't have any questions, you can leave, okay? But please ask me if you do have questions, okay? Or if you have anything to tell me, please let me know, okay? Hey, you can see me now. Oh my goodness. My camera is not at its best, but you will definitely see me all through our session next week. Okay? Okay. So any more questions before I go? If they are not, I would see you next week. Okay? Okay. Goodbye. All right, it's 8 o'clock, so I would end the meeting now. Okay. So please take care of yourself. Try out the methods that I have given you, and please let me know how it helps you. Okay. So take care, everyone. Bye.